Top of the morning, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao claims that he is aiming for a fight with Gennady Golovkin. Wow. Okay, the 41-year-old hasn't fought since beating Keith Thurman last July, but had targeting a return to the ring in 2020 before the coronavirus pandemic stopped everything. Terrence Crawford, the undefeated WBO welterweight champion, has claimed that the talks have begun over a potential fight with Manny Pacquiao, but Pacquiao's long-term trainer believes a mega fight against Triple G could be on the cards. Wow. Okay. After losing his second fight to Canelo Alvarez in 2018, Golovkin picked up victories over Steve Rolls and Sergey Derevyanchenko last year to win the IBF and the IBO middleweight titles. He says there's always good fights out there, Roach told DAZN. The one thing about Manny is he doesn't just want to beat anybody. He wants to beat the best out there, and he wants to fight the top guys. Mikey Garcia, of course, has called him out a couple times, and I think that's a good fight for him, of course. Robert Garcia called him out on one of your shows. That made me smile because I like that fight for Manny. I think it's a great fight. But the thing is, Manny might want to go a little higher and fight Triple G, or one of those guys who is supposed to be one of the best in the world today. Pacquiao still desires to be the best there is. Asked if Pacquiao should fight at 160, Roach replied, "No, I wouldn't advise him to go to 160. That would be a little crazy, but putting him at 170, 147 was a risk at one time." Okay. People would go to me, "Why are you moving him up to 147? But he was very natural at that weight. He made the weight pretty good." Let me stop there. First of all, I think if Manny was going to do that, I think it would be to become the 9-time weight champion. 9-division weight champion. Not 9-time, 9-division. Okay, let me rephrase. And I remember the time when 147 looked a little crazy, but I have to remind people, okay, if we go back on memory lane, the first time he went to 147 was against Oscar De La Hoya. But what was it? It was at a catch weight. It was at 145, not 147. So it's easy for a person moving up in weight or moving up to a catch weight to be notified as a welterweight champion. And he said, but he was very natural at that weight. He made the weight pretty good. Well, according to the sources that I remember reading, Manny Pacquiao had to eat 5 times more and had to eat 5 times a day, that sometimes it caused him to throw up. If you guys remember that, okay, because a lot of people have short memory spans, because I remember it took him a lot to make that weight, you know, and it was because it wasn't his natural weight, because he was such a small guy, which Manny's not a big dude at all, but still, you know, pounds are everything. And he said he can make 140 pretty easily. He can actually make 135, but that's a little bit more effort. But to fight the biggest guys at 147 with the money, it made good sense for us all to fight the great Oscar De La Hoya, which I mentioned earlier, okay? Now, these are the words from Freddie Roach, but 140, I heard them mention 140 recently, okay? And I think they wanted to fight Derevyanchenko. They wanted to fight Mikey Garcia at that weight. But 147, as well as I remember, was a little bit too big for Manny naturally, you know. But now it's supposed to be a normal or natural weight. So I don't really want to hear, oh, but that was a very natural weight when he had to eat 5 times a day. Okay, I had to counterpunch that, because you're looking at a guy that's smaller that came from 120. No, sorry. What, 105? Didn't he start at 105 at one point? So, you know, he was constantly moving up, and people scratched their head on how he moved up. Nonetheless, him going to 160 right now after acclimating fully to 147, since it's so natural to him, I think a Gennady Golovkin fight would make sense. I looked once upon a time at Gennady Golovkin, similar to Manny Pacquiao in mannerisms in his career, so have you. It's just Triple G never wanted to go anywhere. Since he never wanted to go anywhere and he is getting older, I think that would be a good fight for Manny because Manny's still fast. Manny can elude around the attack of the jab. I think the only thing would bother him is the jab. And another question would be, could Manny hurt Gennady Golovkin? Okay, Gennady Golovkin was once elusive. He could move in and out. Okay, but fighting someone like Pacquiao, a smaller fighter, he would have the advantage with the height and reach, but he would have to worry about the angles. Okay, and believe it or not, these guys are only like 3 years apart, so it's not a bad fight. It's just one fight that looked very, very unlikely. And then the next thing that came to mind, because he picked out Gennady Golovkin, when Gennady Golovkin was undefeated and nobody wanted to fight him, Billy Joe Saunders, Chris Eubank Jr., all these guys did not want to fight Gennady Golovkin. Man, Mayweather was in talks of fighting Gennady Golovkin. And, and you had guys like Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, right? You had these guys saying, oh, no, don't go up there. Don't deal with the boogeyman. Don't go with Gennady Golovkin. He's a monster. He's a beast at that weight. You do not want to put yourself or your score or your record at risk. I remember those days, but those days are long gone. I see someone like Manny Pacquiao, still fast, short, quick. He uses his size as his advantage. This guy's he's like Lomachenko's height. Okay. And it would be an interesting fight at this point. Why not? Because I've seen Gennady Golovkin hurt. I've seen him hurt, but can a smaller guy like that hurt Gennady Golovkin? I'll say this. I'm not really sure what Gennady Golovkin still has left, honestly, after seeing the Deverenchenko fight. But I will tell you this. I was a doubter of Pacquiao and De La Hoya. I thought De La Hoya was too big for him. I thought he was too tall. I thought the reach was apparent. I thought once he gets caught with that left hook, it will be over with. But what happened? Manny Pacquiao picked him apart. Now, would that be the scenario for this particular fight? Who knows? That's why it's so intriguing. Will Gennady Golovkin just steamroll over him, hit him with one of those body shots that make Manny Pacquiao quit, or just slow him down enough for him to punish him like he did someone like Kell Brook? But of course, that was a long time ago at this point. So if that's the case, let's make the fight happen. I think Manny would do it just to become or do something that Floyd Mayweather didn't do once again. Fight guys Mayweather didn't fight longer, fight harder, do more. Gennady Golovkin is he's missing a step or two. So I think, and him and at his age and how his performances are, I think that would be a great fight and people would watch it because those guys have their own fans and those fans are absolutely crazy. So that would be a good fight to see, entertaining to say the least. You guys tell me what you think about Manny Pacquiao possibly taking on Gennady Triple G Golovkin. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.